side hustles, possible future business owners coming into the pitch cohort. So again, just thank you so much. We are, as you can see from the letter, we would love to get more funding. Getting money from the community shows other funders that there is commitment within the community to keep Pitch Hamburg going. We have applied for multiple grants, and we are hoping that by showing them that the community is really invested in this, that they should be too.
No, I think Mike should go, because I will say something, but I think there's a key element with the coordination of the district, so that's.
So I think about it from a couple of different ways. I'm a mentor for our Academy of Finance students, and the first meeting that I had this year, I try to provide experiences for our kids that they might not get in the classroom. So I brought them to pitch, and they had an opportunity to talk to Anna. Mike happened to be there, who's an entrepreneur here in the village, and talk to the kids about the value of starting your own business. One of our pitch winners was there, and it was very, I mean, them being there as planned, the rest was totally impromptu. But to have that resource in the village so easily accessible for kids, because one of the things that we need to teach more of in school is to help them have a mindset of being a job maker rather than a job taker, right? How can you be a value multiplier in a community by creating jobs for somebody else? And if they don't see it, it's hard for them to dream it. So they get a chance to see what the kind of incubation of entrepreneurship looks like in a community on a small scale. And when you look at what's happening in really successful communities in the country, Indianapolis, Richmond, Virginia, Atlanta, they're incubating businesses at small scale and at large scale. Here in Buffalo, I do a little bit of work with the venture community on some incubation projects. And, you know, the 43 North Foundation is looking to leverage $140 million to create an entrepreneurial ecosystem in Western New York that starts to rival some of those other hubs and brings venture capital in. So to be able to do this on our scale here in Hamburg is really a nice and important connection to what's happening regionally, economically. If the renaissance that we're having here is really going to be a renaissance rather than a blip, there needs to be more business creation. And for our kids to see that, you know, our little fifth graders pitched at the pitch event in May. And to give kids that actual experience of pitching an idea for like make your own donut or whatever, which I wanted to have that installed in the cafeteria like the next day. You can't find other ways to replicate that experience in an authentic way, but for what pitch does in the community. So it's a great connection for us, and one that I hope the board will continue to fund. So thank you for your time.
I'm not gonna stand up, you can see me. The thing that I think a lot about with regard to Pitch Hamburg is the uniqueness in the community. I don't see another small business incubator in Lancaster. I don't see in Orchard Park. I don't see in East Aurora. These are the communities that we're trying to challenge other people to, you know, we want them not to go to there, we want them to come to Hamburg. The thing I like about the IDA support is, to me, it's broad reaching. It's showing other communities that there's a coalescence of energy, and that's, we're not in the village has lost a little luster, and I think Pitch Hamburg is going to add a little bit more luster back into the village, and of course it blends into the town. So again, my pitch to you guys is more about the uniqueness that the IDA has as partnering with small business incubators, because I don't think there's an IDA in Western New York that's doing that. So that just puts Hamburg, again, on top of the list. We always want Hamburg to be on top of the list. And this is just another reason. I'm a competitive guy. So I want to beat Lancaster. I want to beat Orchard Park. You know what I mean? That's who I want. I want to beat Lancaster. Lancaster is going to destroy us. Understand that. Everyone's going to want to move to Lancaster. And I wanted to move to Hamburg. So this is just another buzz, another energy source. All I wanted to say.
I'll just say we came to you last year with, I'm gonna say, $1 and a dream. We had a concept and no proof, and you gave us the wherewithal to allow us to go forward and put together something. We hired Anna with that. with those funds, we now have 3 successful companies that are alive that did not exist a year ago. And without your support, we wouldn't have been able to do that. Beyond that, just creating 3 companies that did not exist, and one is in talks to open her own brick and mortar quite soon. And the others are flourishing, doing quite well. Beyond that, we've been able to provide additional support to the community. So something beyond our chamber, which is excellent. Something beyond just going outside of Hamburg to get that. So we've been able to provide these classes within the community as well for our other businesses to continue to flourish. So first of all, thank you for your past support, and we really think it'll continue the support.
I'm not sure what exactly I can add, other than, I will say this, I love the dollar and the dream, because, our dream probably goes back
Yeah.
6 or 8 years now that we started
Pre-COVID,
talking about
for
this,
sure.
but if there's any lesson that I've learned in this process is, I guess I'm supposed to be a little bit of a leader within this group, but I feel like I've learned leadership from this group, and the vision that's been set out by a lot of people many, many years ago, to bring Pitch Hamburg to life has been pretty amazing. And if I can learn that, I'm hoping that our new entrepreneurs that run through the program also learn that community leadership role. It's been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all, and as you know, I also serve on the Pitch Hamburg board. Could you just to clarify for the IDA members, can you talk to, this is probably more so for Anna, like the sources of funding that you've engaged in 2023 and like where you're looking into 2024? Just, I'd like to have the board understand kind of the depth of support around the organization, and that it goes beyond just the kind of like the town and the like public entities.
Sure. So we have focused on really foundations this year. So we are still not eligible for state funding through ASD because we have to be open for at least 3 years. So we have about another 1.5 years until we can even start to apply there. We have received support from the town, obviously, and as well as during our community pitch event, we had sponsorships available, and the engagement from the small business community was incredible. We had so many small businesses reach out and want to be part of this, which kind of made us feel like, okay, we're doing something right when it comes to collaboration here. We have also applied to Ralph Wilson. We are in talks with them. They are kind of focusing more towards entrepreneurship and small business support, looking into 2024. I've had conversations with Assemblymember Rivera's office, and a lot of their grants are matching grants, and we can't apply for anything until January there. We have received a verbal commitment from Legislator Gilmore's office for $10,000, and we are continuing to apply for more. Some of the funding that we have applied for, we have with some of the foundations, we have received rejections, to put it nicely, but we continue to keep pushing forward, and we're still in talks with Ralph Wilson. Would be a huge foundation for us to get funds from, obviously. So, and hopefully as we continue to get more funds, we can continue with the matching funds from Assemblymember Rivera.
So
Yeah.
matching means they're looking for you to get outside funding that
Mhm.
they will match, is that what you're?
Mhm.
Is Ralph Wilson a matching grant as well, or is that,
We have not gotten that far yet. Typically, they are not a matching grant,
Right.
but this is newer funding that they're supporting in 2024, so we'll know more the more information we get from them.
And our top event sponsor was Westford. What was their sponsorship level?
10,000. Yep.
Well, I mean, I'll get this started here. So it sounds like last year's program was successful, right? We've got some businesses that are growing or at least existing now that weren't there before. I personally, I feel like this is perfectly in line with the mission of the IDA. I think we heard Mr. Cornell say, you know, the success of this will draw bigger funding opportunities, right? Will draw other incubation opportunities. Appreciating the IDA had a bit of a light year, we just talked about from an income perspective. I still think we need to continue to support this, and I would support enhancing our donation or support. I get what you're saying, right? I understand the desire to have other funding, like we don't want to be the primary funding for this. And I think what you talked about, those matching grants, I think is really important. Especially given the IDA fluctuates, right? Sometimes we have a year like this where we don't have a lot of deals, right? We have very little income this year. I would propose that we increase our funding to 50K, but frame it as a match, right? So if you can get another, Rivera or whomever in a grant match, that we would help you get that. So that's what I would propose.
Just to follow up, Cam. First of all, Mike, I love that program that you guys had going. When I was on the school board, it was one of the big things that we pushed. Cam's our school board member from Hamburg right now, so that's an excellent program. But just the point you might want to add is we used to do a lot of internships. If we could get some of the students to help out these new businesses and stuff through an internship, they learn and the business gets a little bit of activity. It might be something to look at.
How do we do that with
There
AOR?
is
Yeah, there's a requirement. Actually, all juniors going to the senior have
Okay,
that.
so that's good. I didn't know that. That's why I added.
Nearly 50 kids are doing.
Is Frontier involved in any of this?
Nope.
Yeah,
In pitch or in? I'm
In
sorry.
pitch.
I think I'm Academy
Yeah.
of Finance.
Okay.
yeah,
just
so I've
curious.
been working specifically with their big picture program
Okay,
and working as serving as interview practice for them. And then in the spring, once we start planning our event, I will be getting an intern from the big picture program.
oh, that's great.
Is Frontier as involved as Hamburg is, like with the, getting these kids at a young age into a entrepreneurial, program or spirit or guidance?
They are starting to, so actually yesterday morning, I went and spoke to a business class about Pitch Hamburg and about entrepreneurship. So they're learning. I'm not sure how new their curriculum is with that, but especially with the big picture program that they have there, they are really pushing this.
To me, that's a huge part of this program because you just don't get that. I mean, all the years I went to school, I never received any of that type of education or push.
They didn't have phones then. I'm in support of this whole program. I really am. I'm the finance guy and I take a lot of heat through the years and stuff like this. So I've been thinking about this and I agree with Ken. 50,000 for this year is a very good goal. However, I wasn't at that one meeting, but I'd like to add something. I'd like to do 25,000 right now up front to you guys to keep it going and then revisit this with a matching grant during the year. So we can bring in the other $25,000. We have a $50,000 commitment, but if we put 25 right in January to you, I don't have a problem with that financially. And then you come back to us and say, hey, look at Rivera came up with 20,000. We could start trickling the money back in that way. It's a very interesting concept. I even talked to Sean about some other things out here that I like the idea that the IDA is giving tax dollars back into the community this way. I mean, that's how we make our living, land selling and stuff like this, but if there's any way that we can support it internally with business and stuff like this, that we have to take a look at to help you. I know you have your own board and stuff like this, but I really think that this is a great idea and, that's just my input into this, but I really think that we should do 25 right in January at our January meeting for next year's budget and then take a look at the other 25 throughout the year. And it probably would help you get through going forward. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys have a bit of a chicken and egg, right? Like two people are willing to match a grant, one of them has to go first, right? So I think that's why I was proposing that, like, our money's on the table, you just go get it, and I think that would help with the assemblyman or whomever else that has these matching grants. So I think it's a phrasing thing, but I think what you're saying is we might not be able to support the full amount, so come back later, right, as opposed to.
Well, you gotta make sure that they, here's 25 with no strings, right?
Fair, yeah.
Right, all right, so we did our matching grant, we committed to that, if you've got more, we've committed up to 50,000, if the board commits to it. This way, they always know that there's money in the stream coming down for it, I think it'll help out on your budget process and everything else going forward.
Mhm.
That's just my thoughts over the,
I think that's a sensible way to approach it.
I'm sorry, Mr.
It's something
Executive.
right up front, but then if they come back with it, we'll match up to another 25,000. That's a fair way to approach the situation.
I support that as well. That was fair, that makes sense.
I'd like to hear from my good friend, Ms. Pilar.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay,
All right, I have a motion. The Town of Hamburg Industrial Development Agency will pledge $25,000 with an additional $25,000 in challenge funds to support Pitch Hamburg and its efforts to train entrepreneurs and drive the commercial real estate investment and employment opportunities in the town of Hamburg, New York. Upon execution of a contract agreement with Pitch Hamburg and the IDA, to Pitch Hamburg for the purposes of educating the 2024 cohorts and authorize IDA chairman to read and sign such agreement and contract.
So moved.
Thank you, Cam.
Second.
go ahead.
Thank you, Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Congratulations on a great year. Congratulations to the IDA board for support of this project. You know, I see it as another driving force for, you know, what we're looking to do. And although, you know, we had talked about cutting back on some like marketing efforts and development type efforts due to lack of funds, this is another, you know, opportunity where we're pushing the development community. We're engaging companies, we're engaging local companies, we're giving them confidence. We're engaging professional companies as well. One thing we didn't talk to was like the legal sector, the accounting and finance, human resources, payroll, commercial real estate. So all these areas where, you know, Pitch Hamburg is another means to really stay engaged with and, you know, show that, you know, this community is really on the leading edge. Like, you know, like Jeff had said, and, you know, we talk to the program, you know, as we brainstorm what's down the line, but, you know, certainly this Hamburg project being a model for, you know, like communities across the nation is really not out of the question here. So we're on the verge of something, you know, that's very unique and can be replicated, you know, nationwide. So thanks.
Good part, kids.
Thank you.
Go Falcons, go Bulldogs.
I don't know about that, Tom.
Sorry, Tom. Frontier 72 school board, you know, it's tough. Daughter out of it.
I'm a mentor in that too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're welcome to volunteer. Contact Anna. You know, any type of program support we encourage and need. Beyond that, we won't. You guys have done enough today. We won't specifically seek you out, but. All right, privilege of the floor. Any other comments from the guests in here? Executive session. Motion to adjourn the Hamburg Industrial Development Agency Board of Directors meeting at 9:01 a.m.
So.
Thank you, Davis. Thank you, Jamel.
My Frontier guy.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everyone. And we will see you on January 10th. Thank you.
I'll be here.
We have our tour. I'm gonna email A&H to see if we can go a little early. We said we'd be driving.
Don't leave without.
We'll stop for breakfast.
We're going over to the.
Yes.